Hello, TikTok family. So, as a proprietor that has a ECD and ECD, when I heard about the policy to separate daycare from ECD, I thought it's really quite unnecessary because when you think about the age difference between these children in daycare versus those in, say, baby class, it's a very small difference. So I don't think it's a necessary move, dear policymakers, with all due respect. I think maybe what would have been better would be that separate ECD entirely from primary section. At least that's a big gap. You know, like daycare slash nursery from primary, there should be two separate not organizations, but they should be in different locations. That would have been more understandable. So why do I think it does not make sense? Because simply taking out a daycare from a nursery does not guarantee that there's going to be security. One might separate their daycare from their nursery and still not have security. So I think what would have been a better implementation would have been to ensure that only qualified teachers are taking care of the daycare and not just random people. Yeah, qualified and certified, and also to ensure that the ratio of the caretakers to the children is enough, as well as to also ensure that the security is in place for these centers, because now they are policymakers. We need to be mindful. You know, they say government is for the people, for the people. So think about the people. I know you were thinking about the children, but think also about the parents. Now imagine the proprietors have to rent two places, if they're far away from each other, get different workers, and so the bills will increase, and then the fees for the parents will increase. These parents need to work, so I don't think it has been carefully thought through. In fact, I even thought, okay, why all this drastic decision? Because I believe that daycare are not the only place where children have died. People have died in buses. People have died
even in the cross.
In the cross. Jesus died on the cross. People have died in different areas. It doesn't now mean that we have to make drastic decisions, from one occurrence. We need to make decisions, yes, but not drastic decisions. Decisions to improve security. I feel like that's what this, is it National Teachers Corporation or something, should have looked at, rather than entirely separating early daycare from nursery. Honestly, I don't think it makes sense. Kindly